Hi there, Ronnie here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be continuing our look at the 3D game kit by Unity. Um, in my previous video, I we uh, went through the quick start guide that's provided by Unity. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit more of a deeper dive into some of the other things that are available. If you haven't watched the previous video, I strongly suggest that you look at that. In the meantime, you are going to need the 3D game kit um, download from the asset store. If you go into uh, Unity Essentials sample projects, it'll pop up. It'll be the first thing here. If you have the newer view, then you can just type in 3D Game Kit, and that will pop this right up. And well, there it is. Um, the Let me go ahead and close that. Um, it takes a long time to download uh, and import the 3D game kit. So if you did follow along with the previous video, okay, then just open the project that you started last time. That will save you some time. You won't have to go into the 3D game kit again or download and uh, import the 3D game kit again. Okay. Of course, you won't have to download it again anyway, but importing still takes forever. So this is a good way to kind of get going. You can see right here. This is the tutorial scene that I did last time. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. We're going to do a new scene with this one. This is going to start with uh, building a level using Probuilder and Polybrush. And then we'll go through all of the interactable features and set dressings that can be found in the 3D game kit. Um, Hopefully this will give a deeper understanding of what is available and what you can actually do. Because this is going to be a much deeper dive, this is not going to be one video. Okay, um, so keep that in mind. To get started here, let's go ahead and create a new scene. The way we do that is click on Kit Tools, which should be in your on your toolbar or menu bar, and then create new scene. And this we're going to call um, uh, deep dive. Hit the create. Do, 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 do. Loading, loading, loading. All right. Now if you haven't docked your Probuilder somewhere, then you'll probably get a pop-up. At this point, go ahead and dock it somewhere. All right. You can put it down here by your console. It depends on what your setup, how you've got your uh, editor laid out. You got different layouts available here, and then of course you can uh, go into. You can actually set it up any way you want. If you do try and do this, I think this is the 2x3, or yeah, I think it's the 2x3, or it might be the wide. But I like to have my inspector over here. Got my lighting settings, my navigation for nav mesh, the hierarchy over here, and my project asset folders down here. Always, I always come in and change it to a 1-column layout. It's 2-column layout when you put it in there, but just change it to a 1-column layout and everything's good. I'm going to leave my Probuilder down here next to the console, and then I've got my main scene view along with my game view. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the animator here. I don't really expect to be using it. So the new scene that we have here already has a square of ground that Ellen can run around on. It's got Ellen, of course. She's right there. And what we're going to do is start off by, in the hierarchy window, finding the plane. Okay, that's the ground, and the plane has actually been created with Probuilder. Probuilder about a month ago or so became a part of Unity. Okay, it's a free download. One of the cool things that Unity is doing is they're picking up these products and making them available to us, the users, for free, and they're at the same time componentizing everything. All right, so you don't have to bring in things that you're not going to use, and that's going to be the new package systems. Okay, which if you've been using Unity 2018 above, you're probably aware of. With that said, the Pro Builder is a tool that allows us to edit 3D objects in Unity. The Pro Builder window is right here, and since we have a Pro Builder mesh in the scene. If for some reason you closed your Pro Builder window, okay, let's go ahead and close ours. Okay, then that's not an issue. Just click on Tools, Pro Builder, and then the Pro Builder window. And there you go. You got it again. Once again, I want it down there. And so the next thing to look at is gray boxing. Gray boxing is the art of creating simple shapes or geometry in a scene to outline and plan a level that you want to make. In game development, this is the early stages of level design, where you can quickly prototype and try out ideas. Pro Builder is a great tool for gray boxing, so let's go ahead and create a new shape in our scene. In the Pro Builder window, go ahead and click on New Shape, and this opens the shape window. And in the Shape Selector drop down, let's go ahead and create a cube. All right, so that's what's automatically selected. We'll set the dimensions at 3 by 3 by 3 and click Build Cube. And there it is, right there. So let's go ahead and close this. And let's bring this over here, closer to where we are at. There we go. And of course, you can move the cube with the move tool. Um, um, and we can change the shape of the cube by making multiple tools in, or by using multiple tools in Probuilder. There's actually Probuilder tutorials on YouTube, on Unity's website. I'll put a link to those in the description down below. With that said, um, there should be a cube in the hierarchy window now. I just don't see it. Does anybody else see our cube in the high? Oh, there it is. Do I? For now, we'll just go ahead and remove the cube. So just delete. And next, we'll move on to editing and painting our ground plane. So what we use for this is Polybrush. Okay, the ground plane, like I said, is made of Probuilder. It's a Probuilder plane. Okay, and these are flat, but by using Polybrush, we can actually create an uneven surface and paint textures to make the mesh resemble the ground, which is what you see here. We'll be making a dip in the ground where we can add a pool of acid as a hazard for Ellen. So we're going to start by making the plane a little bit larger for the level that we'll be building by scaling it up. So select the plane in the hierarchy, and in the inspector, set the scale of the x-axis and the z-axis to 2. You don't have to change the y-axis because it is a plane, but that gives us a little bit more room to work with. Camera rate, okay. Now we'll open the Polybrush window and start editing. So what we're going to do is go to Tools, once again, Polybrush, and then Polybrush window. And once again, we're going to dock this. I'm just going to dock it next to my Probuilder window. Now, okay, I'm going to actually move the Polybrush since it looks like it'll work better as in a long setting over here. I don't need the lighting or the navigation here right now. So go ahead and select the plane, and we're going to click on the push-pull icon in the Polybrush window. That's right here. It's selected. And we're going to hover over the plane in the scene view. Or not. Oh, somehow we got off of the plane. There we go. Nope. Well, all right, turn it on. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we left click to raise the ground. So we'll go ahead and do that right here. Left click. You see the ground is raising. I like how it's a gentle rise. And in order to, you would think that to lower, we would right click, but that's not true. What we're going to do is control left click, and that will lower the ground. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lower the ground a little bit over here. I'm going to raise it back up. Whoops. I'm going to make sure that it's got solid lip here. Lower it some more. Because this is where we're going to put our acid pool. All right. Looks good to me. So to add the acid, what we're going to do is locate the acid. In our project window, we're going to go to the 3D Game Kit, go to Prefabs, Interactables, and we have an acid prefab. So we will drag the acid prefab into the hierarchy. Who knows? We'll just put it in level assets. And you see it right here. So the acid is currently too large. So we're going to scale it down just a little bit. And so we will click on the scale tool. And we do want to keep the shape. So what we'll do is we'll do this. And we'll move it over here. Drop it down just a little bit. Scale it just a little bit better. So click on the white box in the middle, and well, I guess that's good. And that allows you to maintain your aspect ratio. And then we'll press play and see the bubbling acid. Do, 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 do. And there it is. Whoops. Yeah, we definitely want to go and keep the bubbling in the pool. So let's see if we can fix that. So for my acid, let's see here. There. Let's see if that does it. Well, that's better. As it stands, though, woo, nice. All right. So when making a new scene with the 3D Game Kit toolbar menu, it will automatically add a depth volume area that's very large in size to allow you sufficient editing space. What we need to do is be careful when lowering the terrain so that it's not below the depth volume area. Which is right here. But here's what I want to do. I want to come out a little ways. Goodness. Now, the thing with the depth volume, okay, how far do you want to let her fall? But I want to absolutely lower this because I think that's actually what's causing Ellen to die there. We need to make sure anyway. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just put that at -50. All right, now what that means is that Ellen's going to fall farther if she falls off the side, but she's not going to die to the depth volume going in there, into this dip. All right, if she dies, it's because of something else. Yep, there you go. That's what was causing that. But if we go over the edge, we are going to fall for a minute before we die. And that's fine. I like that. So right now, as we just showed, Ellen can have a bath in the acid and not get hurt. That doesn't make it much of a hazard. So let's go ahead and make the acid go ahead and kill Ellen as soon as she steps into it. So let's go ahead and select the acid. And hit Add Component. We're going to type death in the search box. And that gives us the death volume script. And that way, when Ellen hits the acid, she just automatically dies. So let's make sure that works. All right, and boom, dead. There is another option that we could go with. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove that for now because there was a damager. Damage zone. And yeah, we'll just say 1. I don't know how much health Ellen has. But let's see if we can actually just get, or we got 5. All right, so let's see if staying in there. Yep. So we can do a damage over time effect as well. And that I kind of like. Yeah, that I like. The last thing that we want to look at is vortex coloring with Polybrush. So Polybrush provides a very helpful 3D artist feature called vortex coloring. That allows you to paint on the vortex, the points that actually join together to make a surface, instead of opposing directly onto the surface of the game object. It's similar to how you use the push-pull feature, which we use to create the dip so that we could put the acid pool in place. Um, so we just use the vertex painting to paint across the surface. The vertices are highlighted when the lines are being used there. So if we go to Polybrush again, click on the plane. I guess it doesn't do it very well, but there you go. You can see the vertices there that are going to be affected. Which is cool. The way that the vertex shading works, though, may be strange at first, since you may expect to be able to paint directly on the surface, whereas with vertex painting, it takes the vertex and the nearest vertices along the edge of the surface to blend the color and textures between them. This is handled by the materials, which utilize shaders, which are scripts, and textures, which are images, and render them on the object. There are, once again, tutorials about shaders and materials and textures and images all over the place. So with painting with materials, when you create the scene, or when we created the scene earlier using the kit, the plane was already created with a shader material attached to it. What we're going to do is get a look at how that was created and dig a little bit deeper into what makes up the visual style and materials. So let's start off by setting up a basic plane and attaching a material. So in the Probuilder window, we're going to select New Shape once again, and instead of Cube, we're going to select Plane, which is right here. We're going to change the width to 20, the height to 20, the width segments to 10, and the height segments to 10. And we'll go ahead and build our plane. Once you click Build Plane, it will take a moment. Oh, there it is. Found it. Lost it. There we go. Plane. All right, so we can go ahead and close this. And in the inspector for our plane, we're going to go ahead and change its position. So we're going to make it the X, get back on here, minus 30. The Y, we'll bring that back to 0, and the Z at minus 10. This will put the plane beside the existing plane generated in the level. If it doesn't align perfectly using the values, just adjust as necessary. So what I'm going to do is pop over here. And it does not align perfectly. but that's okay. We'll go ahead and adjust this. Boom. I'm going to actually use snapping. Okay. And we need to, I'm guessing, double the scale on the Z. So, doop. And now we get to move that back. Nice. So it looks pretty good. Looks like we are nice and even. Okay. Now we're going to return to the shape tool and click. Oh, well, no, we did click build plane. Looking at the inspector, we can see the shader that is currently attached is simply a vertex shader. Okay, that's right here. We've got shader, Probuilder, standard vertex shader. And it is grayed out. So to change this, we can add materials created already in the 3D game kit. To locate these, we can use the search by type button, which we are going to look for material. And there we go. Now, in the 3D game kit, the default material attached to the main plane is the default ground mat. So we'll go ahead and filter the results further by typing in next to. We're not going to get rid of the T colon material, but next to it, before it, in fact, we'll type default underscore ground underscore mat. And there we go. So now we'll go ahead and drag and drop the default ground mat on here. And the shader has automatically updated to default ground mat and the custom terrain. Now this will now allow us to use the material to paint on the plane. So let's go to our polybrush window, select the Paint Vertex Colors tab at the top of the window. So that's position, Paint Vertex Colors. Excellent. And there is a pretty big difference here. You can see this is vertex painted over here, and this is just default. So to begin painting on the new plane, let's go ahead and select the red paint from the paintbrush. And this will allow us to use mapped textures to paint. In this case, the moss albedo texture to paint on the vertices. So there we go. Oh, nice. That is pretty darn cool. So it takes that tiled look and just lets us give it some texture. So let's go ahead and switch things up a little bit and add some muddy ground texture. So on the color mask, we're going to change to blue. Blue. And that's muddy ground with the small stone texture. I think. You know, this is pretty darn easy, especially since I am the guy that says all the time, damn, I am not an artist. Look at how good that actually looks, just all by itself. And that's just texturing. So let's go ahead and let's take the muddy areas and just start kind of pulling them up a little bit. And can you just imagine what kind of game changer this actually is? This is this is this makes landscaping so easy. I'm a coder, not an artist. And look at this. It's beautiful. Now, when using Probuilder created objects in the scene, it is best to remove the Probuilder scripts when you're finished editing. And that prevents any unnecessary overhead in the game, which we learned about. Overhead, just downloading this. So, we can do that by going to the tools, Probuilder, go down to actions, and strip all Probuilder scripts in the scene. With that said, I'm not going to do that right now because it will, it's permanent. Okay. So before you do that, that's like the last step in putting together your scene. You want to make sure that you've made all of your necessary changes to your meshes and vertex painting before you do that. You will get a warning. Okay, I'll show you that. Okay, so you will get a warning before it actually does it. It says, this will remove all Probuilder scripts in the scene. You will no longer be able to edit these objects. There is no undo. Please exercise caution. Are you sure you want to do this? I want to say cancel right now because I'm not sure that I'm actually done with this. But that stripping all the Probuilder scripts out of the meshes does remove a lot of overhead. Right now, I do want to, we're wrapping up this video, but I want to go ahead and hit the play button. I want to see how that actually looks on the ground from the point of view of Ellen. See if it's really noticeable. Oh. And that's why we always play test. All right, so let's go ahead and hit this. I'm just going to bring this over. And it's a little overlap, but that should be fine. That's kind of a jarring line. Whoa. And we fell through again. Well, there's more things to learn. All right, clearly I'm missing a collider. Hold on one second. There is a collider. No idea, my friends. I will look this up and we'll see what's going on with that, and I will update you with that information. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you with the next video.